There are moments in history when the universe whispers secrets that humanity is not prepared to hear. Whispers that shake the foundation of what we believe about life, creation, and our place among the stars. Most of the time, we dismiss these whispers as coincidence, as unexplained anomalies, or as myths crafted to entertain minds longing for mystery. But every once in a while, one of these whispers becomes so loud that it cannot be ignored. And right now, one such whisper is echoing through the fabric of the cosmos, and it carries with it a prophecy, an unfolding that will change everything we think we know. That whisper comes in the form of an object hurtling through space with a silence so deafening that scientists themselves are split between skepticism and awe. Its name is 3I Atlas. At first glance, it seems to be nothing more than a visitor from the deep, a comet from another solar system wandering into ours. But what if it is not? What if this is not a random rock drifting through the emptiness of the cosmos, but something far more deliberate, far more intelligent, far more dangerous? When the Hubble telescope turned its lens toward this interstellar traveler, something extraordinary appeared. A glow, a shimmer of light that seemed too precise, too deliberate, too alive to be written off as mere ice and dust reflecting sunlight. This glow was not ordinary. It pulsed with an intensity that some could only describe as unnatural, like a heartbeat echoing across the void. And for the first time, whispers grew louder. Could this object be nuclear-powered? Could this be a machine, a ship, a beacon designed not by nature but by intelligence? The physicist who first raised this possibility did not do so lightly. He had studied the patterns, the trajectory, the peculiarities of this object, and he knew something about 3I Atlas does not add up. Its trajectory is not random. It is precise, deliberate, as though it was designed to pass close to Mars, to Venus, to Earth, like a silent scout observing, measuring, recording. He dared to say what others feared. This may not be a comet. This may be an interstellar spacecraft, a nuclear-powered machine sent by a civilization beyond our comprehension, sent to observe not the planets, but us. Now pause and let that sink in. If this were true, if 3I Atlas is not a comet but a craft, it means humanity is not alone. It means that we are already being watched, studied, tested. It means that long before we looked to the skies and wondered if someone might be out there, they already knew we were here. And the question is no longer if we are alone, but why now? Why here? Why us? History has a way of preparing us for truth through myth, prophecy, and whispers from ancient times. Civilizations from the Mayans to the Sumerians, from the Hopi tribes of North America to the Vedic texts of India, all spoke of watchers from the heavens. They warned of celestial visitors who would appear in moments of great change, moments when humanity stood at the edge of transformation. Could 3I Atlas be the very sign they spoke of? Could this object, blazing silently through the void, be the fulfillment of a prophecy humanity has been waiting for? Imagine for a moment its sheer size. Scientists estimate it to be larger than Manhattan, a colossal body gliding effortlessly between the stars, carrying within it a mystery so deep that even the most advanced minds on Earth cannot decipher its true nature. Rocks that drift randomly through space do not carry with them such precise energy signatures. They do not light up the cosmos with a glow that seems intentional, and they do not follow paths that so perfectly skim the edges of worlds. This is not random, this is design. But design demands a designer. And the question that burns is who? Who could build such a machine? Who could launch it across the abyss of interstellar space? Who could sustain it with the kind of power that pulses like the beating of a nuclear heart? And perhaps the most haunting question of all, why would they send it here now at this precise moment in human history? Prophecy has always taught us that nothing is coincidence. The timing of great events is always aligned with cycles, with cosmic rhythms that echo through the ages. Think of the last few years, pandemics shaking the very fabric of society, wars igniting across nations, climate unraveling with ferocity, and the rise of technologies that blur the line between human and machine. Humanity is standing at a crossroads, and into this chaos comes 3I Atlas. It is almost as if its arrival was scripted, timed with precision to coincide with our awakening or our collapse. And here lies the deeper mystery. What if 3i Atlas is not here to harm us, but to watch, to test, to decide? Perhaps its creators are waiting to see if humanity rises above its darkness or falls deeper into it. Perhaps they are measuring whether we are ready to join the greater cosmic community or whether we remain a species bound by division, destruction, and ignorance. Could this be the trial foretold in ancient prophecy, the weighing of humanity's soul? Let us not forget that this is not the first interstellar object to cross our skies. In 2017, Oumuamua entered our solar system, a cigar-shaped anomaly that baffled scientists with its unusual acceleration, its lack of a comet tail, its silence. Some believed it was a probe, a scout, a messenger. Others dismissed it as a rock with strange properties. But Oumuamua came and went without revealing its secrets. And now 3i Atlas arrives, larger, brighter, more deliberate. Could it be that Oumuamua was the first whisper, and 3i Atlas is the answer? The physicist studying this object suggests nuclear power, but we must go deeper. Nuclear power is not just energy, it is symbolism. Nuclear energy is the mark of civilizations that have reached a threshold, a level of advancement that holds both creation and destruction in its hand. Humanity itself crossed this threshold less than a century ago, splitting the atom and unlocking both light and death in one instant. If 3i Atlas is nuclear-powered, it means its creators stand where we stand, but far ahead. Masters of forces we still barely understand. And in that mirror lies a prophecy. What we are becoming, they already are. The glow seen by the Hubble telescope could very well be more than light. It could be a beacon, a signal, a message. What if its glow is not for them, but for us? What if it is designed to provoke our curiosity, to draw our attention, to force us to ask the very questions we are asking now? For centuries, humanity has cried into the void, sending signals, sending probes, asking if anyone is out there. What if 3i Atlas is the reply? Not in words, but in presence. Not in noise, but in silence that speaks louder than any voice. Prophecy often unfolds not with thunder and lightning, but with subtlety, with symbols hidden in plain sight. We were told that watchers from the stars would not announce themselves with fanfare, but with signs that only the awakened would recognize. And here, in the silent glow of 3i Atlas, is such a sign. For the ordinary eye, it is just a comet. For the awakened, it is a message. We are here. We are watching. The time has come. But humanity is not united in how it sees this visitor. Some scientists laugh it off, saying it is nothing more than a frozen rock, a wanderer with no mind, no mission. Others dare to whisper the possibility of intelligence, of design, of purpose. This division itself fulfills a prophecy written across time, that when the signs appear, humanity will be split. Some will mock, some will fear, some will awaken. And in that division, the fate of our world will be decided. The path of 3i Atlas takes it close to Mars and Venus, almost as though it is scanning, recording, analyzing. Think of that precision. A rock does not aim itself, but a craft. A craft chooses its path. And if this is true, then its creators wanted it to see not just Earth, but the entire family of planets we call home. Why? Because in studying our neighbors, they study us. They measure the womb that birthed us, the system that raised us, the cradle that carries us. They are not just studying a planet, they are studying humanity's origin, our environment, our destiny. And so 3i Atlas becomes not just an object, but a prophecy unfolding before our eyes. It is a reminder that the universe is not empty, that intelligence may be watching, waiting, testing. It is a mirror, showing us what we might become and warning us of what we might fail to achieve. The question that now burns is simple yet terrifying. What happens next? Do they reveal themselves? Do they remain hidden? Do they intervene if humanity spirals into self-destruction? Or do they turn away, deciding we are not ready, leaving us to face our fate alone? These are not questions of science alone, they are questions of destiny, of prophecy, of the very survival of our species. And so, as 3i Atlas cuts across the void, glowing with a mysterious light, humanity stands in the balance. This is not just a comet, this is not just a rock, this is a message from the cosmos, a whisper from eternity, a prophecy unfolding, And whether we rise or fall will depend on how we answer that whisper. There are warnings written across the stars, warnings that civilizations ignore at their own peril. We believe ourselves to be the masters of this earth, the pinnacle of creation, the rulers of our domain. But in truth, we are children playing with matches in a forest we do not understand. And sometimes, when the sparks we strike burn too brightly, something greater notices. Something beyond us looks down, and it decides whether the fire we have lit deserves to keep burning, or whether it must be extinguished. This is the shadow hanging over 3I Atlas. If this colossal visitor is truly a machine, then it has crossed the unfathomable void for a reason. It is not here for chance. It is not here for curiosity. It is here for judgment. Think about the timing. Just as humanity splits atoms, builds weapons capable of erasing cities in an instant, just as we harness technologies that can rewrite our very DNA, just as artificial intelligence threatens to replace human thought itself, into this storm of progress and chaos 3I Atlas arrives. Is it coincidence, or is it the moment of reckoning? Imagine the creators of this craft, beings who have seen civilizations rise and fall across the galaxy. They would know the signs of a species approaching the precipice. They would understand the danger of a young race wielding powers it cannot control. And they would come, not with banners or fanfare, but with silence, to measure whether we are ready, or whether we are a threat not only to ourselves, but to the greater cosmos. This is where prophecy bleeds into apocalypse. Ancient texts across the world have always spoken of the Watchers who descend in moments of trial. In the book of Revelation, the skies open with signs that the end draws near. In the Hopi prophecies, the appearance of a strange star marks the beginning of purification. In Hindu scriptures, celestial omens signal the cycle of destruction before rebirth. And now, 3I Atlas glows in our sky, silent but burning with the weight of these words. If this craft is nuclear-powered, as the physicist dares to claim, then we must ask, what fuels it? What kind of reactor could hum across interstellar distances without faltering? A human-built nuclear reactor degrades, corrodes, requires constant maintenance. But this is different. This is mastery. This is a civilization that has perhaps transcended decay, one that builds machines capable of enduring the endless march of time. And here is the terrifying question. If they can build such machines, then they can also build weapons beyond our imagination. If 3I Atlas is only a scout, then what waits behind it? Prophecy does not unfold gently. It comes with waves. First the whisper, then the sign, then the reckoning. Oumuamua was the whisper. 3I Atlas is the sign. What follows may very well be the reckoning. And it is no coincidence that humanity stands fractured at this very moment. Nations threaten each other with annihilation. Economies tremble under the weight of collapse. People grow restless, angry, divided. We are tearing ourselves apart from within, and still the object watches. But why watch? Why not reveal themselves? Because revelation comes at the end of the test, not at the beginning. They will not show themselves until humanity has chosen. They will not speak until our actions declare who we are. Every war we wage, every injustice we allow, every invention we unleash without wisdom is a message to them. And when the balance tips too far, then prophecy says the Watchers will act. Think of the trajectory. Mars, Venus, Earth. These are not random waypoints. These are symbolic. Mars, the god of war, drenched in blood. Venus, the goddess of love, of harmony, of beauty. And Earth, the battleground between the two. Is it coincidence, or is it a message written across the sky? They are reminding us of the choice before us. Destruction or unity, chaos or balance, war or peace. The path of the craft mirrors the path of humanity. Now imagine the glow again. To many it is only a reflection, but prophecy whispers that light is never just light. Light is knowledge. Light is revelation. Light is judgment. Could it be a beacon that records our transmissions, our signals, our every digital cry into the void? Since the dawn of radio, we have been screaming into space without caution, announcing our existence to whoever may be listening. And now, perhaps, the answer has come. The light of 3I Atlas is not only energy, It may be the mirror of our own noise bouncing back to us as a warning. We hear you. And if they hear us, they also hear our wars. They hear our hatred. They hear the chaos we spread, even as we claim to be intelligent. Perhaps this is why the glow is not constant but pulsing, like a heartbeat, like a clock ticking down. What if it is a countdown? What if we are running out of time to prove ourselves worthy before the pulse goes silent? Prophecy is not meant to comfort. It is meant to awaken. It tells us not what we want to hear, but what we need to face. And the truth is this: if 3i Atlas is indeed a craft, then our world is on trial. We are standing before a cosmic tribunal that does not speak in words but in silence and presence. And silence can be the loudest judgment of all. Think of the civilizations that might have come before us, worlds that destroyed themselves with the same fire we now hold in our hands. To the watchers, humanity may not be unique. We may be only the next in a long line of species who reached too high and fell into darkness. And perhaps they have decided to intervene before history repeats itself. Intervention does not always mean salvation. Sometimes it means cleansing. And this is where the apocalyptic edge cuts deep. If we are deemed unworthy, 3i Atlas could be the harbinger of something far greater. What if its glow is not just energy, but surveillance? What if it is transmitting back to its creators everything about us, our weapons, our weaknesses, our chaos? What if behind this scout waits an armada, silent and invisible, ready to descend when the final decision is made? History has always warned of fire from the skies. The prophets of old spoke of stars falling to earth, of heavenly armies, of burning light that consumes the wicked. Perhaps they were not visions of fantasy, but memories of what has happened before. Civilizations erased by watchers when they failed their trial, and perhaps now it is our turn. Yet there is another side to prophecy. It does not speak only of destruction, but also of transformation. The apocalypse is not merely an ending, it is an unveiling. The word itself means to reveal. And perhaps 3i Atlas is not here to destroy us, but to push us toward revelation, to force us to see what we have become, to awaken us to the truth that we are not alone, that our actions matter beyond our planet, that we are part of a story far greater than we can imagine. But awakenings are never easy. They come with pain, with fire, with trials that strip away the illusions of comfort. If humanity is to survive this prophecy, it must face itself honestly. It must choose whether to remain a species enslaved by greed and division, or to rise into the light of unity and wisdom. And that choice will not be made by governments or leaders alone. It will be made by each of us, by the collective heartbeat of humanity. So when you hear of 3i Atlas, do not dismiss it as a comet. Do not let the scientists soothe you with words of chance and randomness. Look deeper, see the glow, hear the silence. Feel the presence of something that is watching, waiting, measuring. This is not a time for fear, but for awareness. For prophecy does not unfold to scare us, it unfolds to prepare us. And what we are being prepared for may very well be the most important moment in the history of our species. The apocalypse is not coming someday. It is already here, unfolding in silence above our heads. And 3i Atlas may very well be its herald. The stars do not lie. They are the eternal witnesses of creation, the silent guardians of truths that we in our arrogance try to deny. And as 3i Atlas sails through the void, its glow shimmering like a wound in the heavens, humanity can no longer escape the question that burns at the heart of this unfolding prophecy. Are we being watched because we are ready to ascend, or because we are about to be judged? In every era, humanity has looked to the skies with longing. We called them gods, we called them angels, we called them demons, but always we knew something was there. Ancient prophets did not speak of empty heavens. They spoke of thrones of fire, of wheels within wheels, of fiery chariots that descended with judgment. The Sumerians spoke of Anunnaki, who came from the stars. The Mayans carved calendars warning of cycles of cosmic return. The Vedas describe beings who rode celestial crafts powered by energies unknown to man. Were these just myths, or were they warnings left behind for us, so that when the Watchers came again we would not be blind? And here we are. The Watchers may already be here, hidden in the silence of 3i Atlas. Its trajectory is no accident. It has traced a path across the solar system like a pen across parchment, writing a message that most refuse to read. Mars, Venus, Earth, the triad of war, love, and balance. It is a cosmic reminder that our fate will be decided not by the weapons we build, but by the choices we make. Yet humanity is blind to its own reflection. Even as this celestial visitor sails overhead, nations sharpen their swords. Bombs are built in silence. Skies are filled with satellites that spy not on the stars, but on one another. The oceans rise, the forests burn, and the cries of children echo across borders torn by greed. And all the while, the glow of 3i Atlas pulses like a silent heartbeat in the void. If prophecy is right, then this glow is not just light, it is a mirror reflecting back to us the truth of what we have become. But prophecy also tells us that in the darkest hour there is always a choice. And this is the core of the apocalyptic revelation. The end is not predetermined. It is a crossroads. The Watchers do not descend to destroy blindly. They come to see if there is hope. They come to weigh the heart of a species on the cosmic scales, and the weight of humanity's heart will decide if we ascend or fall. Now let us imagine the unimaginable. If 3i Atlas is truly nuclear-powered, then it is not drifting, it is navigating. Its glow is not random, it is controlled. Perhaps within that colossal shell lies a reactor that hums with energy older than our civilization itself. A reactor that could outlive empires, one that could burn for eons without failing. This is not technology, it is mastery. And mastery demands purpose. The builders of such a craft would not waste it on chance. They would send it as a messenger, a scout, a judge. And its silence speaks louder than any words ever could. Silence is the greatest weapon of prophecy, for silence forces us to confront ourselves. If the object spoke, if it revealed itself, the world would unite in awe. But silence divides us. Some call it a comet, some call it a craft, some mock, some fear, some awaken. This division is the test. The Watchers do not need to fire a weapon. They need only to reveal themselves in part and watch how we react. And our reaction will decide our fate. Consider what has already happened. In 2017, Oumuamua entered our solar system. Its strange acceleration defied explanation. Some whispered of alien probes, but the world moved on. Now, 3i Atlas arrives, larger, brighter, more deliberate. The Watchers gave us one chance to notice and we ignored it. Now they give us another, louder, clearer. How many chances remain before silence gives way to revelation? And what would revelation look like? Prophecy speaks of skies filled with fire, of trumpets that sound without instruments, of stars falling to earth. These are not fantasies. They are descriptions of encounters with power so far beyond us that our ancestors could only describe them in the language of myth. Imagine a fleet descending, their reactors glowing like 1,000 suns, their crafts blotting out the heavens. That would be fire in the sky. That would be the trumpets of judgment. That would be the end of the world as we know it. But revelation is not always destruction. Sometimes it is awakening. Perhaps they will not descend with fire, but with knowledge. Perhaps the glow of 3i Atlas is not surveillance, but a beacon, a signal to those who are ready to listen. Perhaps within its silence lies a frequency, a vibration, a message encoded in light that only the awakened can hear. Perhaps this is why prophets spoke in riddles, why visions came in dreams. Because the message was never meant for the blind. It was meant for those who had eyes to see, ears to hear, hearts to understand. The apocalypse is not only the end, it is the unveiling. It is the lifting of the veil between illusion and truth. And the truth is this: humanity is not alone, and never has been. We are part of a cosmic drama that stretches beyond time, and 3i Atlas is a reminder that the curtain is rising again. But here lies the final warning. Prophecy does not promise survival, it promises truth, and truth can destroy as easily as it can save. If humanity refuses to awaken, if we continue down the path of greed, war, and destruction, then the Watchers will not need to strike us. We will destroy ourselves. They need only to wait, to watch, to witness the unraveling. And when the dust settles, when our cities crumble into ruins, perhaps they will descend, not to greet us, but to inherit what we could not protect. This is why the prophets always spoke in urgency. They knew that time was not infinite. They knew that when the signs appeared, action was demanded, not delay. And the sign is here. The glow is here. The object is here. The prophecy is unfolding, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Look at the world around you. Look at the storms that grow stronger, the fires that consume forests, the diseases that spread with relentless fury. Look at the hatred that divides us, the wars that threaten to ignite into inferno. All of these are symptoms, not causes. They are the signs of a species at war with itself. And into this chaos comes Three-Eye Atlas, glowing silently, as though to say, "We are watching. Your time is short. Choose." And so we return to the question that cannot be avoided. Why now? Why us? Why here? The answer is both terrifying and hopeful, because this is the moment of decision. Humanity has reached the threshold. We have touched the fire of creation in our laboratories, splitting atoms, weaving genomes, building minds out of silicon. We are on the edge of becoming gods or devils. And at this edge, the Watchers arrive. Not to push us, but to see which way we fall. If we choose war, if we choose division, if we choose destruction, then prophecy says the skies will burn, whether by our own hand or by theirs. But if we choose unity, if we choose wisdom, if we choose to rise beyond the shadows of greed and fear, then perhaps the apocalypse will not be an ending, but a beginning. Perhaps the unveiling will not be of fire, but of truth. Perhaps the Watchers will reveal themselves not as destroyers, but as guides, welcoming us into the greater community of stars. But the choice is ours, and time is running out. The glow of Three-Eye Atlas is not eternal. Like a clock, it ticks with silence, counting down to a moment when silence will break, when revelation will come. And when that moment arrives, it will be too late to choose. Our choice must be made now in how we live, in how we treat one another, in how we honor the earth that birthed us. This is the final prophecy. Humanity stands at the threshold of apocalypse, and the Watchers are here. They do not come to comfort. They do not come to frighten. They come to witness. And what they witness will decide everything. So as you hear the whispers of scientists debating whether Three-Eye Atlas is a comet or a craft, remember this. Prophecy does not speak in debates. It speaks in signs. And the sign is already here, glowing above us, silent and watching. Do not wait for proof. Do not wait for revelation. The prophecy is unfolding now. The future of humanity is being written, not by the stars, but by us. And when the Watchers look into the mirror of Three-Eye Atlas and see who we are, may they find not a race consumed by fear and destruction, but a species ready to ascend into the light. Because if they do not, then the apocalypse we fear will not be prophecy anymore, it will be history. And history once written cannot be undone.